when a whisper becomes a roar. So there's 4 things that we're going to look at, okay? So we are diving into you finally believing what your intuition has been telling you, okay? The 4 questions that we're going to hit are, what truth did you sense all along? What made you doubt the truth that you were sensing? What's changed now that you trust this truth? And what happens when I act on it? And I also have here like inner knowing, echoing, and being self-led. So it's about an internal dialogue that you're having with yourself, or you're about to have with yourself. And you are reflecting, you are questioning, you are digging into, you're diving as to why you've allowed yourself to be restrained, held back, retained for so long. This time, it's not necessarily about what other people have done or the external blocks, but more so your willingness, acceptance, reliance upon making the doubts a part of your fabric. And now you are starting to unravel that. You're starting to move away from that. You're looking at things with a different lens, a different level of confidence. So we're going to dig into that today, okay? So I'll just put my notes over here. All right, dear Mother and Father God, thank you. Okay, well, that we are here today to do this reading. I'm grateful. Please, I ask that you continue to make this a safe space for revelation, for clarity, for honoring of oneself, and for us to fully discover and embrace the roar and not be intimidated any longer by the whisper or doubting it. We are here for the roar. Thank you. Okay. So, as you saw before I started getting into my prayer, these cards fell out. And so this King of Swords, I almost feel like this is a volcano of sorts. Blue. Okay, blue is communication. If I'm thinking chakra, throat, things that you weren't able, willing, didn't know how, weren't clear to vocalize. Is this, this looks like a butterfly to me. And even though I have my glasses on, come on, let's go. I feel like all these other little colors around it are also butterflies. And that you've had a big revelation. Okay, so that's the first card there. Oh, wow, look at that. And then the next card is Ace of Swords. Again, truth. Knowledge. I feel like these could be people around this sword. I just feel like these are people around this sword. Or these could be the aspects of you that have observed or are absorbing this new truth. Okay? So that's what we are working with here. Okay, so let's take a quick look and see if there's anything really important that we need to pull out. Because I pretty much feel like these cards are really setting the tone for the reading. So it says here that the sword represents influence, rationale, decisiveness. These energies speak to a person who is powerful, logical, analytical, and able to command respect. That communication that I talked to you about, this blue volcano, if you will, it's not necessarily your throat chakra, your voice, you talking, but it's the way that you're now moving. It's the way in which you are presenting yourself to the world. This is as within, so without situation. I'm hearing that you're feeling yourself. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you are finally embodying this truth. So interesting to go then from the king to the ace, because this King of Swords to the Ace of Swords now allows you to, I want to say, move differently. You're moving now with the knowledge, right? And so I know in tarot they like to say, you know, if you get a 10, you're at the 1, you start da. But when I see this is an elevated cycle, right? This is you being an ace at the beginning of the journey, But now what's happening is you're now the King of Swords. Knowledge, enlightenment, but you're now going to embark on another journey from the ace position, but with king knowledge. You understand? You are elevating each time. Give me a second here. Because this is about you believing what your intuition has been whispering to you all this time. You just weren't willing to, or were afraid to hear it, afraid to act on it. Not sure if you're really hearing yourself. Is this just because I want it that I'm saying this? Is this Mother God speaking to me in a way that, like, am I making this up? Am I making up what I'm hearing? Because the things that you're doubting doesn't mean that they're negative. They could have been really positive things. You just couldn't see the proverbial forest from the trees. You could not see how in your current circumstance that any of this is possible. It just didn't make sense. Didn't make sense. Just didn't make sense to you. Let me see. Oh, by the way, this deck is my, can you see that? Artist Decoded Tarot Guidebook. I love this deck because it's so deep. Let me actually show you. Let's find the King of Swords here, because it gives you so much detail, right? So it says upright is about justice, authority, decision-making, and insight, okay? The philosopher king must be someone who has love, wisdom, and virtue, and who is not motivated by personal gain or ambition. This talks about mental, emotional, and spiritual fortitude to see beyond the surface level of a reality and understand the deeper truths of the human experience. If you receive this card, it could indicate a need to connect with your inner philosopher king. And at the beginning of the message, I told you it's not about taking direction or instruction from outside anymore. It's about being led internally, about being led within. That is amazing. What's interesting, I also said that this looked like a volcano. I mean, listen, we know volcanoes are like red and orange with the black suit, or the lava and whatnot when it hardens. Ooh, what's that about? Hold on. There's something about the lava being, ooh, like pliable, flexible. It's moldable, but once it hardens, it hardens. And so you are going through I want to say like an active transition. Like this truth is hot, right? It's something that you've recently discovered, or you on the edge of discovering this red hot truth about yourself. And that red hot truth comes out in how you position, show up, maneuver in the world now. You're operating with a new found confidence. This was also mentioning that this was the, what was it? Philosopher's King. Listen, this information is coming to me so quickly that I'm messing up my words, so forgive me, sorry. Okay. That philosopher king energy, that's, again, your embodiment, your elevation in the way in which you're thinking, how you're seeing things. You're coming from a heightened, elevated, broader, macro perspective with an understanding of the micro. Because this King of Swords to me is macro, overreaching, seeing all, but the Ace of Swords is micro, a very detailed, singular, specific, intentional. It's interesting. Okay. Yes. I was telling you why I like this deck. Like, it gives you symbols, right? I believe one is earth and air here, which would make, not earth, fire and air, which makes sense. And then if we were to look at the ace, let's just look at it Because you see, it gives you symbols there. Can you see that? The symbols? Then it gives you the upright, the reverse. It gives you a story. I'm not going to get into all that, but when we look here now, wow, that's a lot. What do these little things mean? So when you see this, it's mental clarity. Yes, see, paradigm shift, breakthrough. It's a sort of ultimate truth. It helps us confront false narratives and cut through illusions with cognitive might. This is so interesting because, again, what is that on my hand? As I was prepping and making my notes for you, or like what we're going to talk about, this is the whisper becoming the roar. And when I talk to you about it being a cycle, about the whisper starting quiet, right? Can you see that? I hope. The whisper becoming a roar. But this is also the ace to the king, and then the king is going to go back to a whisper, and then a roar, and then a whisper, and then a roar, and then a whisper. This is your, I'm going to call it a cycle for lack of, not cycle, pattern. Okay. This is the pattern. And this has been happening to you, but the difficulty is, or the challenge is that you were just discounting it. You weren't believing it. You weren't willing to step into it. You thought it was, no, I don't know, it's not possible. I'm just hearing things. I'm just making up things. There's no way. I don't need to see, like all that kind of stuff. That was your pattern. But you were using your pattern for, we'll call it not good for intensive purposes. But now you understand to use your pattern for good. So now when you're, and you know what I just heard? This is also like, what is that thing called when you're in the hospital? The monitor, right? Like, let's make this a little darker so you can see the breaks, right? Do you see that? So while you might be looking at it like from a vertical perspective, right? Up, down. I just thought to look at it as this way. And this is your heartbeat. Oh, instead of pattern, I'm hearing to say this is a heartbeat. Heartbeat. That's your heartbeat. This is your rhythm. And so what this has caused you to do not only is to change the pattern, but to change the way that you look at things. Because before you could have seen these as blocks, but these were moments of pause. These were moments of fine-tuning, tuning in the dial, getting the right, frequency, not just heartbeat, frequency. This pen is no good. My writing doesn't look good with it. Anyway, whatever. The frequency, the heartbeat, the pulse. Love that. Is that making sense to you? Do you get that? Maybe before you felt that you were hitting a ceiling or you couldn't get to where you needed to go and you're looking to go up. But sometimes the answer is not the way up. It is the way forward, this way. Okay? All right. Enough of that. But that was unexpected. Okay. So what is my other question here? So I have here, what truth did I sense all along? Did I answer that question? I don't think I did. I don't even think we touched on the first question yet. How long have we been talking? So let's see here. Let's do, I'm between hearing astro codes and seasons of the witch. Which one do I do? We're gonna do this one. We're gonna do the Year of the Oracle. We'll start with this one first. All right. Okay, so the question is, what truth have I been sensing all along? Oh, what truth have I been sensing all along? What truth have I been sensing all along? What truth have I been sensing all along? I just looked down at the cover here, and what stood out to me was seasons. That's another way to describe this. Seasons. So we started with heartbeat, we went to frequency, we went to pulse, we went to seasons. So some way, somehow, these might be all relevant to you, okay? All right. What truth has the viewer been sensing all along? What is, tranquility. I think one that you've been sensing that you have a skill, be it some kind of spiritual skill. That's the first thing that came to me. But also, it doesn't need to only be spiritual. Tranquility. In thy womb of blissful quieting and calming stillness lives the world of worlds spellbound to the silence. What the hell does that mean? In the womb of blissful quieting. So the blissful quieting and calmness. So in quiet and calm is the womb. And in that womb is a world of worlds spellbound to the silence. Sorry, that's my dog. Okay, shh. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. What truth? When I look at this, I feel meant for more. You're more magical and skilled and you have ability. So whatever it is that you've been denying or thinking it's not possible or I can't or no, whatever, they're not going to buy from me or why would they buy from me or I don't have anything. Like that stuff, you're actually meant to share it. People will say that, this is your superpower. Like this is your witchy power, right? Huh. And you dream about this often. You think about it a lot. It is literally your heart song. It is your pulse. It is something that you want to do. It is the thing that feeds you. And so, I don't know if anyone can fly a broom, but what I'm hearing is you think that it's impossible and it seems impossible, but you're the one to do whatever this idea is that you have. Because I don't know what it is. Like there's enough of you watching. I couldn't pick the one thing. I'd probably pick a few things, but I'm not going to do that. You know what it is. I'm hearing Magic Stick by 50 Cent. I don't know why. I know why, because I was looking at the broom. And the thought was you have a magic stick, but not that kind of magic stick. Like there's a magic that you have and the skill that it seems so mundane, so boring, but you need to crack that open because this looks like it could just be a regular broom that you would use to sweep up dirt and dust. But clearly it's more than that. And you have to know that your idea, the thing that you want to do is greater than what you think it is. Okay. Are these all in frame? I hope so. Huh. I'm also hearing about manifesting. Why did I do that? Why I said manifesting, then I was like, maybe because, I don't know. I think because the word is overused, and I do believe while you can think, pray, and attract things, there's still an element of effort that's required. And I just, I don't want people to think you can hocus pocus your way out of stuff, right? All right, let's see. So I'm going to get the book, see if there's anything else here. It says peace, silence, and healing. To be at peace means to have inner harmony despite what's happening around you. Imagine how much easier Christmas shopping and holiday preparation would be if nothing ruffled your feathers. The same goes for life. You cannot change other people or external factors, but you can control how you respond to them. Inner peace is created through an acceptance of what is beyond your control. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about listening to your inner guide, taking your direction from there, having internal, private, intimate conversations with God about what it is that you need to do. You don't have to shop this around to enough people. You don't have to do that. Inner peace is created through an acceptance of what is beyond your control. What is the purpose of worry if it cannot contribute to change your situation? You pulled a tranquility card because what you've asked about is beyond your control. It may seem ominous, but the fear is often much worse than the thing itself. Excessive worrying will only cause you more pain and could lead to self-fulfilling prophecies. You're being guided to release stress, seek peace, reach out for help if you feel like this is not something you can manage independently. Having another perspective could help ease the stress. Again, this is not about internal forces collapsing in on you. It's more about you deciding what will and will not be allowed in, so that you can do what it is that you need to do. This is about you bringing your own tranquility. This is about you not needing 7,000 voices coming at you. I'm going to say you need two, you and God. And from there you figure it out. From there the pathway is made clear. I'm hearing acceleration for some of you because I'm looking at this house, right? And there's snow. And when it snows, you gotta, clean off the car. You gotta shovel the walkway, the driveway. You gotta do all those material things. But you will also be provided with a level of acceleration with what you're doing. Okay? All right. So what made you doubt? What made you doubt that you were capable of this? Let me see. Oh, you know what? I'll take this deck. Oh, that fell out. This is the deck, in case you're curious, that we're moving on to now. That just fell out. I didn't get to shuffle. I'm taking it. I'm trusting it. What made you doubt your ability? 3 of Pentacles. For some of you, it was financial. Some of you just didn't have the financial wherewithal to do it. For some of you, it could have been, I don't know if I should consider that these foxes or wolves are enemies. I mean, I would think so. If there is I don't know. This is not a moose, whatever, caribou, whatever this thing is. These are their natural enemies. Although that may be true, what I'm hearing, though, is that these were not external enemies. These were enemies within yourself. That's interesting. I'm going to go get a deck that I actually made. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's move these out of the way. Okay, so I made this deck. This card. Oh my God, that's crazy. This card. Whoa. This card says tranquility, Garden of Eden. Abundance, peace, overflow, beauty, enchanted, and perfection. You thought it was too good to be true. Again, that keeps coming through, but I'm kind of blown away that we've got two tranquilities on the board. Very different and very different. This one is a witch over, I mean, I'm going to say it's snow on the ground. But this one here is tranquility in the Garden of Eden, on the continent of, I'm going to say continent of Africa. Give me 1 second. Garden of Eden, witch. Yeah, the continent of Africa. There's a reason why I picked this when I was putting this deck together, because that's my understanding, and I don't mean like popular whatever, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is we've got two tranquilities here, and the question was, what made you doubt it? It seemed too good to be true. It seemed absolutely too good to be true. Three of Pentacles, two tranquilities, Garden of Eden, something to do with peace. Three of Pentacles, something to do with peace. That's what I'm getting. An inability to have it, under some kind of threat. Maybe you couldn't finance it due to some of you are in survival mode. Perhaps your circumstances wouldn't allow it. I mean, you could be, listen, you could be single and a lot of financial burden is on you. You could be an independent parent with very little help from the other parent, so you're restricted in that way. Heck, you could be married, same thing, right? But I feel that there's some kind of limit. You have this richness inside of you, these ideas, they're kind of like in the balance, hanging in the air. If you can see my hands, how I'm kind of cupping them, those are supposed to be the antlers. That's what I'm trying to show you here. And what is this? This looks like it's another kind of animal here. There's three wolves or foxes. I think these are wolves. They feel more wolfish to me. You're very protective about your ideas. Maybe some of you have three business ideas. Maybe three of you, maybe you are a multipreneur. You have a number of interests. You're not sure which way to go. There is a con or a devil for each idea. I'm going to say to you, like, note it, but don't let that hold you back. Okay? I mean, if this is you and there are these three wolves, I think you need to be keen, aware, stealth, calculated. I think whatever you're dealing with, you need to make it a point to consider all options. I would say to you, no. I'm hearing that I need to say to you that for each option, or like, and what came to me was the Seven of Cups, right? So the Seven of Cups, each cup has an option. Really, there's only a few good options and there's one best option. You know what I'm saying? So for every opportunity that you have or every situation, think of three plausible solutions or outcomes so that you can kind of guard yourself. And that's one way of kind of keeping your tranquility. In a way, I won't say that you won't be caught off guard. I'll say that you'll be less caught off guard. It's something that I share with my daughter and my son, that you should consider all options. It doesn't mean they're going to happen. And I used to say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I don't say that anymore. Prepare for the best and expect better, right? It doesn't stop you from preparing. It doesn't stop you from considering what your options are, right? One second. So what truth did I sense all along? What made me doubt it? Because you've got some naysayers in your ear and you've internalized them, and it's time to exercise them out. So what changed now that I trust? Now that you are on the cusp of trusting. So if you're already trusting, I'm going to answer that. If you're about to answer, if you're about to be there, I'm going to answer that. What has changed now that you are ready to trust your knowing? Okay. Should I use this deck? Which deck? Do you want me to use this deck? Okay. What has changed or is about to change now that you trust this knowing? I'm going to use both decks, I think. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, what has changed or is about to change now that you trust this knowing? Now that you trust this knowing. What is about to change? Oh. About to change now that you trust this knowing. Okay, so water to blood, that is a curse to the Egyptians, but a miracle nonetheless. This would seem impossible, quite frankly. Look at that. New wineskin, so new opportunity. Wow, wow, wow. Why? What was my question? What has changed now? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, hold on. What's happening? Is everything in frame here? I don't know. Let me push all my prettiness back. Hold on. Okay. That's interesting. I mean, there's going to be a transition to change. Water to blood. That's when I want to say Moses' staff touched the Red Sea and it changed things, and then he was able to change it back. There were false prophets who also could do the same thing, but they couldn't do it they could not do it on the same scale. And that's what has changed. You recognize that your haters, your enemies, people that want to imitate and emulate you, they can try, but they cannot do it on the same scale. Why? Because you are now in a new wineskin. So what does that mean? There's a proverb, okay? If you want to look these things up, you can. So the water to blood is Exodus 7:14. The new wineskin is Luke 5:36-39. And what happens here is with the new wineskin, there's let's call it back then they used to have sacks, okay? So in today's modern world, you would have like a little, I don't know what you call it. It's a little jug that you carry around, you put drink in it. So you could put wine. Normally people have some wine or spirits in there, right? But back in biblical times, it would be like in a leather bag, if you will. And so what happens is when you put wine in this bag, the bag and the wine get accustomed to one another. And therefore you cannot put a new wine into this bag because it will still hold on to the properties of the old wine, and it will not be right. It will not taste how it should, because the old body, the old ways, and that's funny, the old ways. I did a reading, I don't know, maybe 5 days ago about your old ways won't work. You've outgrown the room, right? So the way in which you would do things, you need a new container. And so this new container is your mind. And because you're the King of Swords, there's a renewing and a changing and a shifting of the mind, which is the volcano. And all that lava, those hot truths that are coming out, that eventually harden. So that goes two ways, to be very honest with you. Some of your ideas were hardened and they needed to shift, which are the doubts that you were having. But this volcano, this explosion in thought, has allowed for a renewing of the mind, a renewing of the wineskin, a shedding of the blood of the old ways, right? What's interesting here, I remember when I made this card, right? Because in my mind, it was, okay, there's a 10 plagues, and that included things like, it culminated with the firstborn dying, right? But it was like frogs, locusts, water to blood, boils on the skin like leprosy, all these kind of things. In my mind, I was like, you know what? God always provides an antidote. There's a way of escape. So what does that mean? So I came up with this card, like the 10 plagues. So yeah, there could be plagues. There could be things going on. But you now realize that you have the antidote. You now realize that there's a shift. You now realize that, okay, these things weren't working out before, or I was hindering myself, or there were circumstances that created blocks for me. However, now I recognize that I don't have to live here. I am not a victim. I actually have the ability, the skills, and in these plagues are the doubts as well. I want to say that. I have the ability to create my own tranquility, to create peace, beauty, overflow, abundance in my life. And I'm now going to, now that I've been through this pulse, frequency, heartbeat season, I'm going to now start a new season with this knowledge. You understand? With this knowledge. And each time you're elevating. Each time you're comfortable no matter what. You're comfortable if you're in the ace position or if you're in the king position. You're comfortable. You're comfortable with the expansion and the contraction. Do you understand me? Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, the question is, what happens if I act on them? I honestly feel that I've touched it. I feel that this was what changed now that I trust it. Your mindset changed. You realizing that you need a new environment, that this whisper, this gnawing at you, this, this contra to your standard thoughts has been coming quietly. And it's been, I almost want to say, emboldening you, right? It's been encouraging you, nudging you on until one day, for whatever reason, somehow it just clicked. And now you're ready. Now you're ready to accept that that whisper is meant to be a roar. But during that time, you were getting your courage. You were getting your tenacity muscles building. You were working out, whether you realize it or not. You were preparing for the moment that is about to come or that is here for you. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. I love that. Because can I be totally honest with you? Sometimes I'm doing a reading. I'm like, okay. And this is what's next. And I myself, I told you many times that I am here. I am doing the reading. But I am watching it just like you. I'm watching it unfold. Right? And there are times when I am just super amazed with what comes out. Amazed. Stunned. Because honestly, to go from here to here, who would have seen that? Not me. Wow. I don't know. I just heard riches are in the niches. Aries, act. Isn't that funny? We got these two horned animals here. Aries, act. Aries, act. So what happens, and it's funny, the question was, what happens when I act on it? That's what happens when I act on what I know now and trust that has changed for me, that I'm no longer doubting, because I know all along I've been sensing the truth that my whisper was a roar. Woo! I think one more, because I just do. I just think I have to pull one more, because I almost feel like this was reiterating the question, right? Because the question was, what happens when I act on it? What happens when I act on the truth that I now trust? Well, one thing is you don't hold yourself back anymore. Clear, right? You don't pour yourself into situations that aren't for you anymore. Act. And do you see this, I don't know if this is a sword in the middle of this ram's head, but I just feel like that's your knowing. Like, You know when there's a pulse, like a beam opens and closes, like it expands, it contracts? That's what I feel that this is. And this is like your... I heard teleporting. That's not what I mean to say. Maybe Spirit actually wants me to say that's why I'm saying it. But what I'm saying is this is your connection. This is your connection to Mother and Father God. That's what that is. Oh. I really like that. Okay, one more card because I did say. And then I'm gonna read them briefly for you, okay? One more card, please. Can I have one more card? One more card. One more card for the viewer. About what happens when they act on it. What happens when they act on the truth that they now know? What happens when they embody the whisper? Oh, okay. Abundance and structure. Okay. I get that. It's so interesting to me if you look at this abundance card, because we have abundance here. We've got some doubles, like 2 horned animals. Tranquility is here twice. The word abundance is here twice. We've got, quite frankly, 2, we'll call them plagues, right? Wow. And even look, 23, 24, like there's an order to this, right? There's like this unfolding. So that is Jupiter, abundance. And look, there's wine, double wine, wine. That's crazy. And I don't know, like, I know this says Saturn, and Saturn is a planet that has rings on it, but I also feel this is kind of like a bit of a compass as well, right? That's something. So we're going to read that. We're going to see. So the question is, what happens when I act on this? So we're going to start with 23. Hold on, let me just take a sip of water. Okay. So abundance. So Jupiter symbolizes how we expand our world through education, law, philosophy, another double. Abundance, geez, a triple. 1, 2, 3. And an expansive spirit. Again, that, I don't know, node in the middle eye or whatever. The expanse of the spirit from the ace to the king. Jupiter, the traditional ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces, is a huge gas giant, 2.5 times the volume of all the planets put together. Holy shit! Sorry, I mean it. Holy shit! Because I told you things would seem impossible. Remember we talked about tranquility here with the witch and the meaning of it. Wow. Okay. It takes 12 years to circle the zodiac, spending roughly 1 year in each sign, named for the ruler of all the gods and surrounded by 79 known moons. Jupiter never does anything in small proportions. I just finished telling you not too long ago that it's about big stuff for you. It seems impossible, but it's big. It's big. Action. Think bigger. This scenario requires you to be expansive and forgiving. Deal with it in a spacious, curious, fair, and philosophical way. Think globally. Bring the contributions from all around the world. Remember I spoke to you about macro and micro, right? Consider traveling physically or traveling with your senses by listening to music from a less familiar culture or tasting their food. Talk to people who grew up in a circumstance foreign to you and get their viewpoint. Diversify your perspective and that of your team to discover the missing pieces needed to make up a larger whole. Engage in abundant. This is the 4th time we're seeing this word. Abundant optimism. Get the word out through generosity. Give abundantly. And that's what the 3 of Pentacles is as well. Typically, you would see a person giving one pentacle here, the other pentacle here, and they have one, right? Or they're about to give one, whatever. But there's that generosity. But in this instance, I read it as generous in options for yourself and the potential outcomes, okay? All right, where are we here now? Get the word out through generosity. Give abundantly. Again, it's like 5 times. And goodwill comes back to you. So if you want to know what happens when you act on it, good things are coming, honey. Good things. So Jupiter's energy needs a big room and an audience, but it can overshadow important people in more intimate circumstances. Watch that your expansive capacity does not cramp the experimentation of beginners or crowd-beloved introverts. Notice where you might overwhelm the people you love and give them room for their more subtle style. If you're the one being so overwhelmed, appreciate your own value, expand in ways that work for you, and let the person with Jupiter energy do their thing. So the gift here is you give and you shall receive. Jupiter calls on you to expand your worldview. So reach out and feel at one with the whole universe. I love that. Okay. So the question is, because I'm sure it'll be okay, I'm going to do this and this is what I get, but how do I do it, right? So you were told that you need to act. This is what's going to happen when you act. I'm going to go a little bit further because we got a second card, and this is the way in which you need to act because there's a container here, okay? There's a process. You're not to act willy-nilly. So it says here, Saturn rules that which we must build over time: bones, teeth, personal authority, maturity, borders, discipline, tradition, and organization. That's key. Saturn, like Jupiter, come on, is a huge gas giant with its rings of ice and rock. So hold on. This is ice and rock. I was just wondering if it said what this is as of. Anyway, let's get back to it. It represents the boundary of the visible solar system as the last planet humans can see with the naked eye from Earth's surface. Saturn, traditional ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius, takes 29.5 years to round the zodiac and forms challenging aspects to itself approximately every 7 years. Hence the 7-year itch. That's why I said hitch. In a marriage, and 21 as a traditional age of official adulthood. It says that you're being asked to step into the next level of maturity and personal authority. Now, do you understand that? Now, does this make more sense? The stepping into, the pulsing, the king to the ace, to an elevated king, we'll call it king 1, to the ace 1, then you get to king 2. You understand? You see the cycle? Like, that's the pattern, but this is the heartbeat of it. This is the... Okay, you get it? I hope you're getting it. I hope it's making sense. All right. Where was I? Okay, so think of Saturn as a martial arts master who pushes you to grow through workouts, discipline, and tests that allow you to prove what you know, both to yourself and others. Look for a mentor or choose to mentor another. Do you understand that? So you're to act, you're to expect the best, expect expansion, try not to eclipse or overshadow other people. If you're in the position where other people are the Jupiter, then you do your thing in your lane, your way, right? Because this pulsing thing I'm telling you about also applies here. You could be the non-Jupiter person and the Jupiter person, non-Jupiter and Jupiter. And this is also a way for how you need to navigate your relationships. Understand, kind of your role in there, your true role though. No shrinking down to fit other people's things. That's a disservice to yourself. Okay? Don't do that. But what I'm just saying is use this, because you can use this kind of pattern throughout all your life. Does this show up in your finances? I have no money, I have a lot of money. I have no money, I have a lot of money. I have no money, I have a lot of money. I don't have a job, I have a job. I don't have a job, I have a job. You understand what I'm saying? Where is this pattern replicating and showing up in other aspects of your life? Okay, let's get back to what they're saying here. Yes. So it's saying that you need to find a mentor or be a mentor, but there's discipline. It will take some time to bring this about. It says to honor the teacher, but don't give away your power. Some of you have been doing that, have done that. That's why you ended up here. We all have done it. This is not a judgment. I'm stating a fact, as simple as I'm saying I have hands and I'm holding a book. Just a fact, not a judgment, right? Okay. Listen to experts. Mix their wisdom with your experience and make your own wise decisions. Philosopher, right? If you feel like someone is abusing their authority or undermining your set firm boundaries and hold them accountable. Study, cope, and grow up. Look pragmatically to the skeleton and teeth, either of your own body or in the metaphorical structure of your project. Can this endeavor stand up and take a bite out of life? Make sure the foundations are strong, the organizational structures are in place, and build out from there. As you gain strength in mind, muscle, and bone, you can become stiff. So remember to stretch the body and soul. So remember I talked to you about this volcano and the pliability and the flexibility of the lava, and then it becomes stiff. And then there's also a part where sometimes our thinking or our ideologies are stiff and they need to be broken down. And that's why we have the volcano to, renew that and refresh. See how this is all tying in? It says here to be careful not to cling to old conceptions of success or hold on to brittle systems that restrict potential and leave people discouraged. Touched on that already through Jupiter. The gift here is the ancestors call you to wisdom and maturity, to know your gifts and limitations. This process may be an initiation, a test that empowers you. Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. I don't know if there's anything else I need to say here. Do I want to do? I honestly think this is enough. This is enough. I would love for you to. What could you put? Oh, put a wine glass. If you've made it this far, put a wine glass in the comments and let me know which card here really spoke to you. Like, are you in need of abundance in your life? Do you need to learn to start taking action? Is one of the first things you're going to do to take action get structure? Do you understand and recognize the pattern, the pulse, the heartbeat of the macro micro, of the king to ace, king to ace, king to ace, elevating each time? Or are you more along the lines of realizing that there's something big that you're being catapulted forward in a way that other people are not? Right? Have you realized that you've outgrown things and you require a new circumstance? Can you identify a poisoned environment? Can you see the antidote for your current life situation and how which you can construct, create, attract to yourself, build, learn about, solve, resolve those things by taking and creating your own philosophy and way of being and management of these circumstances? Can you see that? Can you do it? I want to know where you are on this path. I tell you, I love how this came about. Wow. That's incredible. Ooh. Sorry, I had to yawn there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please go back, if you haven't seen them already, and watch my 2 previous Pomegranate Priestess readings. I think you'll find them to be very, very helpful for you. All right, thank you, my dear sweet Arils. Okay, and Arils are the fruit inside the pomegranate, in case you're wondering. My name's not Aril. That's just my nickname for y'all. So thank you again, and I will see you next time. Bye.